So red is the first color I'm going to use. The way that I'm going to load it inside of here is I'm going to put my darkest color on the end. Okay. I'm going to load that in a nice straight line. Close it once again. There's my first load. Now I've also purchased these plastic mats here, and I like to do my stroke on here so that I can get the desired colors that I'm looking for. The first brush that I'm going to use is a snap brush. It's brand new, nice clean bristles. I'm going to load my brush with the lightest color on the toe. I'm going to pick those colors up, and I'm going to go here to my loading. I'm going to go back and forth the same way that you would do in a rainbow cake. I'm going to start with wiggle, pull, go to the next one, wiggle, pull. If you start to run out of color, just add wiggle, pull, wiggle, pull, wiggle, pull. Because we're working with alcohol, it does seem to dry fairly quick. If it starts to dry up at all, go ahead and use your Prolong and reactivate. Again, if you need more makeup, go back to here. If it's a very warm day, I would put the lid back on and still use this as my mixing area. Now I'm gonna go in that negative space and do wiggle pull. I've noticed there's not that much yellow on the tip, and you can even sometimes just go back and load there, especially if it's starting to dry. Negative space, wiggle pull, wiggle pull, wiggle pull, wiggle pull. Now, I would like to add a little hint of white. So I'm gonna do a little tiny white dot here, and I'm gonna pull that into my mix, and I'm gonna lighten up that last over under. So over, again, a little bit of white on the tip, under, so it adds a bit of a highlight. Reconstitute again. Just using this as my mixing palette is amazing. Then for this part, you're going to go pull, pull, work right underneath there, come from the back side, pull. Again, I'd add a dip of a little bit of white that was still just right on the top. And what that's gonna do is that's just gonna give it a little more dimension. Pull, pull. Totally okay to go back over. Again, this is alcohol paint, it dries fairly fast, so you're not gonna be lifting up any of that other paint. When I do my flowers, I just make them happy. Okay, I reconstituted once again. And again, I have the second mixing area up here. And then I can just keep lightening up to my desired highlight. Then I don't have to go back in later. Pulling just a little bit of white on the tip again, just like that. Then I use this baby bottle, has a lid on it, closes. There's a hole large enough that I can keep my brush in if I needed to. Otherwise, I can just keep the makeup on the brush so I have no waste. Then I would go back to here, and I can do a little tiny bit of highlight if I'd like to do that. Sometimes it's nice just to add it right where the sun would hit as a little reflection. I'm gonna go right back into that same palette I was using. Draw a small line of yellow. Close it, put it back in the same hole so you remember. A little bit of green next to it. Close it, see how there's all that extra. Put it right into a different hole so that you know where it is. I'm going to use one of my brushes, which is a number 10 in my set. If you need to moisten your brush at all, I use just a little bit of alcohol. You don't necessarily need to. Okay, I'm going to load that. Come over here like before. And I'm gonna add that little tip of white, remember? just kind of how I did before. I just pull it in. Okay, then I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna work my way down, turn my brush around, start from here, wiggle, and pull there. If you would like it a little bit darker, I notice that sometimes that green is a little transparent, just do a second layer, just like that. Same thing. I think we have some little birds out here today. Trying to film outside is fun. And I pull, pull, pull very softly. Pull, pull, pull very soft. So there's still makeup left in here. I would close that. I used my container that's going to have remnants of that color there. And then this holder has a place for my brushes. So now I have something to highlight. I have my rose color and I have my leaf color, and those will just hang. So if I would like to do this again or continue working on the next child that comes up, then I would take my ProAiir and I would reactivate, take my brush and start onto the next child. And there's no waste of the makeup.